Live from the Valley, it's your host, former Miss USA, Nia Sanchez.
Hey, baby. Okay, welcome to the Hold My Crown podcast, where we dive into life, pageants, reality TV, parenting, and so much more. Join us for special guests from your favorite reality shows and some of my very good friends, other beauty queens. This is Hold My Crown.
Hold my crown.
Welcome back to the Hold My Crown podcast. I am so excited to be hanging out with you on a new week, and we have some fun things to talk about. But today I have with me Daniel Paul Bucco.
What is up, y'all?
My incredible husband, and we are diving deep into something we both have a strong love for. Disney, all things Disney, Disneyland. We're going to share with you our secrets.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
it's Mickey Mouse.
Having a voice actor husband and children, they get any Disney character they want
do.
at any time because you just transform into that character.
That's right.
But we are talking about a place that has so many memories for us, that we've had lots of adventures. We're sharing our secrets and tips and tricks and some of our very fun, interesting, and wild history at Disney. I grew up going to Disneyland once a year. It was like an annual trip with my family.
Only once a year?
Well, we lived in Northern California.
Oh, that's
so
right.
we would
when
drive down,
Yeah.
go to Disney, and then visit my grandparents in Cerritos.
Got you.
Yeah, when I was little.
Yep,
And then
yep.
Menifee. Did you have any experiences with Disney as a child?
Disney World. We grew up in Michigan, and my parents had 4 kids. We were PKs, pastors' kids, so we didn't have a lot of money, but you would never know it. They did so well.
Mm-hmm.
But we would drive everywhere because they couldn't afford tickets, plane tickets.
That's about to be us. Like, we have so many children. We just going to be driving everywhere in a minivan, and we're going to be exploring the West Coast.
Buy a PJ, get a G6.
Yeah, with all of our money for that.
Put it out there.
All right. I'll take it.
So yes, we went to Disney World. I want to say one time, maybe twice growing up. We drove all the way down to Orlando, which is like 21 hours, 22 hours,
Wow.
24 hours. Did it in a couple days. I don't even know if we we had a big camper. So to even save money on a hotel,
You just stayed in the camper.
we would stay in like a campsite.
Would you? Oh, a campsite. I was going to say,
Yeah.
sleep on the side of the road? Like, what? Okay,
No,
campsite.
no, yeah,
Okay.
we would stay at a campsite or that type of thing. So
Okay.
Disney World, that was like,
That was your thing.
Yeah.
And I had never been to Disney World until going with you. But let's rewind a little bit. My super regular experience at Disneyland started when I worked there.
Mhm.
So before the Valley, before pageants, I worked at Disneyland in California.
How old were you when you started?
21. I got hired, and I think I started my first day of training like a week after my 21st birthday. So it was
Wow.
early 2011 when I was working.
Yeah.
Whew, over 10 years ago. And I actually, in high school, I had an annual pass because they were so cheap. It was like $17 a month, maybe. And so I did go to Disney a lot in my junior and senior year of high school, and I had 4 friends, and we always went
Yeah.
together, and we had a lot of fun.
How often would you go?
I mean,
you
we go
think?
at least once or twice a month.
Yeah.
Because we lived like an hour and a half, 2 hours away.
Got you.
So it's like you could go we would get out of school and go after school and go to it closed at midnight.
Yeah.
As
Yeah.
teenagers, you're like, whatever, that's fun.
It doesn't close at midnight.
A lot of nights it closes at midnight.
What?
Some nights 10 p.m.
Right. I thought it's always 10 p.m.
No, some nights it's midnight,
Wow.
especially on the weekends. We have children, so we don't go
They
to
add the party?
midnight anymore.
That would be California Adventure, not Disney.
Both.
What?
Yeah. And California Adventure used to have a really cool Tron, club type
yeah.
experience. And I didn't drink, but we still went and had a good time. Okay. Let's get to the bullet
Let's get to it.
points.
Let me preface something. When we went on our first date, you had 3 non-negotiables.
Oh, yeah.
Had to love going to Disney and would never complain about it.
Mm-hmm.
Had to love God
Mhm.
and had to like cats.
Mhm.
I totally lied about the cat thing. I had never been to Disneyland.
No, Daniel had lived in
I had
LA
lived
for
in
how
LA
many
for
years?
like 10 years.
Yeah, and never had
More.
been. No, it was around 10 years.
Around 10 years.
Yeah.
Had never been to Disneyland. Because I always thought, hey, I've been to Disney World. Why would I go to Disneyland? It just seems, smaller and not as fun. And I'm a grown up now.
Yeah, and then you met me. And I mean, this is really no bueno to talk about how I cheated the system.
What did you do?
I still get nervous about like getting in trouble from Disney. It's been so long. Because in your contract they actually say like if you say what you do as a character performer, like they'll come for you and sue you. Which I feel like it's been too many years. But no, so I worked at Disneyland in Hong Kong, and we'll kind of rewind, but to jump on what you're talking about, I worked at Disneyland in Hong Kong, and I worked obviously in Anaheim. So I would like use my Hong Kong pass for like entrances, and then same with my California pass, because when you are like an employee, you get say 12 sign-ins a year, however many it is. And so I had like 12 from Hong Kong and 12 from California.
You
so
were
I like
cheating the system.
Yeah. I just love Disney so much, and I wanted to call Daniel. Okay, we have to rewind a little bit. Let's rewind to like how I got hired at Disney, because I have had people in the past ask me about like what the audition. Like I want to give you guys like inside.
Oh, we're doing that.
Yeah, because I want to
take a little nap then.
Okay,
when
great.
You go into this.
I want to give you guys like the inside scoop. Thank you, but it's boring. I appreciate that.
No, of course not.
I want to give like the inside scoop of what it's like kind of behind the scenes, behind the Disney magic, because everybody knows what they see at Disneyland. It's all magic. It's all a show. Like before, when you're backstage. So if you work at Disneyland, if you are in like the area for employees, it's called backstage. And when you step out into the park, you're on stage. And there's like a sign that says like, smile, you're about to step on stage. So I want to kind of pull back the curtain and show you guys a little bit of the backstage, behind the scenes, what the audition process is like. It's very, for princesses, very superficial, because duh, you're being hired to be a princess. It depends on what you look like. So of course there's a range kind of like height. There's a range of weight, not necessarily a number, but just like the dress sizes that they have for the Disney princesses. And then they literally just look at your face. They kind of like line you up and just like look at you. And they kind of, by being professional character, auditioners, they know, oh, she looks like a Snow. Oh, she looks like a, Belle. She looks like this. She looks like that. So they separate you into different groups. They give you a script, and you're like reading off of whoever you're auditioning for. So when I auditioned for Belle, and I am not a performer. I am not an actress. So I was like Googling Belle's voice and like trying to look it up and like how to sound like Belle while I'm sitting there like trying to do my audition. And I honestly couldn't do it now. I would have to like go back and redo it. But yeah. And so I auditioned as Belle. I was there with one of my very best friends. So, rewind even a little bit more. Sorry for the choppy storytelling. But I did pageants, and Disney recruits princesses from beauty pageants.
Yeah,
so smart. So
Very
they
smart.
go to beauty pageants, and they have a little booth that you can go be like, oh, I want to audition to be a Disney princess.
Yeah.
They take your picture and they give you a call back.
Yeah.
So that's what it was.
Genius.
My girlfriend and I, who ended up being my maid of honor at my wedding, like one of my very best friends, we auditioned together. We are both essentially like half Hispanic and half white. Like I'm like Spaniard and Mexican and German and English, and her mom is from England and her dad is from Mexico.
Yeah.
So we look very similar. We've called each other twin since we like knew each other, very similar looking. And we both auditioned for Belle. They kept us there, I want to say like 6 or 7 hours. At the end, we're like, let us go home. We're here for so long, in multiple rounds. So one, you just do like kind of the voice audition where you're reading the script.
Okay.
And then they do a cut, and like half the people go home. And then you have more of a like physical audition where you have to try to like do the gestures, even though you haven't been trained. You're just like, sure. So you're trying to like be more physically in character. And this one is in like an auditorium type space full of everybody else that's auditioning. So hard. Like for me, like not being a performer like that, my heart was racing out of my chest. Everybody's
Get the stress sweat going.
Yes. Everybody's watching, and you're trying to talk in the voice. and act out the character that you're auditioning for. And it's like 4 people at a table, and then everybody else is in the room staring at you, and you go one at a time. And then again, they're deliberating and they're like cutting it down. And then they separated us into 2 separate groups. And they said, this group is staying, this group is leaving, you can go. And then once the other group was gone, they lined us up and they said, congratulations, you are now a cast member at
This
Disneyland.
is like American Idol.
It was
like
very much
the
like
cuts,
that.
Yeah.
Yes. And Allie and I think we went to like,
Did she not make it?
no, we both made it. We
Oh.
both auditioned for Belle, and we both got hired as Princess Aurora, which is one of the whitest princesses ever with blonde hair and blue, purple, or brown eyes. So you can get hired with different eye colors, and it's fine.
Okay.
In her movie, she has 3 different eye colors. So we both got hired as Aurora. And then after, I think we went to like Burger King and just princess diet, like went and ate at Burger King. But I do remember, this is my last like working at Disney story. I have so many, and maybe we'll talk about more later. But my very first day, I'm so nervous. They have the trainers walking out with you because you do almost like a month of training. Maybe it was 2.5, 3 weeks of training.
Wow.
Where they train you in the story. You have to know the backstory of your character. You have to know all the other characters in the story. You have to know Flora, Fauna, Merryweather. Those are the fairies. What colors are they? You have to know Prince Philip.
All the research.
You have to know
the kids are going to come up and
because you have to be living that character.
Right.
And so you're training the gestures and the movement. And for example, if you're watching on YouTube, but I'll describe it as well, like Rapunzel, like when she clasps her hands together, her wrists always bent because she's just like young and cute and like so excited. But Aurora, her movie is very like straight lines. So it's like your hands are more straight and it's more proper. Whereas like Snow White, like her wrists are more like broken and up higher. Like there's very specific differences for each gesture for each character.
Yeah.
And so my very first day, I think this is only my second set. Your sets are like 30 to 45 minutes long, especially on like day 1 when you're just training and like going out there. The character trainers are with you. They're watching every single interaction. Your heart is racing the whole time because for me, and I don't want to mess it up.
Right.
And actually 2 stories. One, I had a little girl come up to me and she goes, Aurora, you look different than you looked at the other like place or whatever earlier in that day. So she had seen a different Princess Aurora and she looked straight at me and was like, you look different.
So how many Princess Auroras are working at the same time on a given day? Or other princesses or, whatever? All throughout the park. Because one's in like
at least 3.
At least 3.
Sometimes, like when there was like Ariel's grotto was a princess breakfast or princess meals, like there could be up to like 4 to 6. But at least 3 in the park at one time.
And they try to keep you like far apart from each other, like someone's in the...
Exactly.
What's the...
Princess Fantasy Fair.
Princess Fantasy Fair.
Yeah.
One's out.
One could be roaming around Fantasyland.
In the Fantasyland.
Front gate. And then sometimes in California Adventure. That's rare now. It was more common when there was a princess breakfast over there.
And then the breakfast.
Oh, then there's a breakfast at the hotel.
And there's a breakfast one at the... Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
So, I thought it was funny. It was probably my first week working. And, you only have so many like excuses in your head why you have to leave and you have to cut your own line. It's a whole thing. We could do a whole episode on this. But at the end of my set, you would have to like try to find ways to see what time it is. So you'd like try to like look at someone's phone or eventually get kind of like a feeling in your body like, oh, it's about 30 minutes. I have 15 minutes left. I have to start cutting my line. Mm-hmm. I told the last few families like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like I have to leave now. I have to go have tea with the fairies. And then by my third set, a mom like yelled at me and she was like, you've had tea with the fairies 5 times. And I was like, oh dear. So now I'm like, okay, I have to like change up my story. I'm like, oh, I have to go find Prince Philip. I hear he's in the stables. Like you have to like think of different excuses. You can't say your same excuses because you don't always recognize the people. And she's like, I've been in your line 5 times and you never see my kid. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. Well, I do have to go see the fairies. Like, I'll be back later.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. The moms.
One more. You gotta tell this story.
Which one? Do you have one that you're thinking of?
Yes.
Tell me.
The so bad to even laugh about it.
Oh
the
no!
blind, the
no.
blind, the blind kid.
Well, sometimes you kind of get in the flow because you're seeing hundreds and hundreds of kids a day.
It's so sweet, but
It's very sweet.
funny
Yeah.
as
So like
well.
sometimes we would have children of different like disabilities come, and sometimes they were regulars and you knew them. Like there was a really sweet boy that was like, I don't know what disability he had, but he was so sweet, and he like knew all of our songs, and he would like hold our hands, and like he couldn't quite see straight, and like there was something like physical, but he was the sweetest boy, and he was probably like 11 or 12, like a bigger boy, and there was like regulars and all of that, and there was the sweetest little girl in a princess dress that came in, and she had her stick. She was blind. She had the white stick with the red at the bottom, and it's just you're very much in your normal flow, saying
'Cause you're just going one after, especially in the
Hello
fantasy.
there. What is your name? How are you doing today? Oh, I love your princess dress. Like it's just very you're in the flow. And so one of the questions that I would ask a lot of children was, what is your favorite color? So this sweet little girl, I said, oh, and what is your favorite color, princess? And she goes, well, I'm blind, so I don't know, but I imagine it would probably be pink. And it was like so sweet to me when I'm asking a girl that's clearly blind with her stick what her favorite color is as a princess. And she just like gave me all the grace.
It's so cute.
She was probably like 6 or 7 years old, and she was so sweet to me.
Bless her heart.
I know. I've had moments where I like practically got in like a
If you would have had that mom that was talking about the tea, and that was her mom.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Can't you see? She's got a walking stick. She'd be fired.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Oh man.
I've had some moments.
I can't imagine how many, because you're dealing with hundreds and thousands of people a day.
Oh yeah.
And it's just over and over and over, and you have to keep it fresh and new
You try to
every
keep
time.
it fresh.
Right.
Yeah. And like kids are innocent and ask silly things. Like I've had like a 3 or 4 year old little girl come up and give me a big hug, and you're bent down on one knee, and she looks at me, she goes, "Awowa, you have boobs." And I'm like,
Awowa.
I'm like, and then you like don't want to focus on that. It's like, oh yes, and I have this necklace and my crown. My fairies gave me my crown. Do you like crowns? And oh, your princess dress. And you just kind of have to keep the conversation going.
Oh my goodness.
Working at Disney is entertaining.
Yeah.
To say the least. Okay.
Let me ask another quick question.
Last one.
And this just comes up.
Okay.
How much hooking up is going on with the cast that works at Disney?
Well, none from me. I never hooked up with any princes or character people ever. Zero. Never. But it happens.
Well, this is another thing, because probably a lot of the guys that probably
are not straight. Is what you're trying to say. Yes, a lot of the male performers are not straight. That is common knowledge.
That is common knowledge? Okay, I'm not going to get in trouble for that. Okay.
Yeah, but like also a lot of the men are straight. The guy that played Peter Pan, that was probably the best Peter Pan in Disney history, I gotta say, like in-park performer. He ended up married.
Don't say he married his Tinkerbell.
No, married Wendy.
Aww.
He married Wendy. I think she played Wendy and Tinkerbell, actually. But he was one of the videographers at our wedding.
Oh, that's right.
We still had a lot of Disney connections.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah, and so I know a few cases of that. It's like someone that they played characters similar. I know a prince that married a princess.
Wow.
Yeah, it was like they played characters together, and yeah, so there's cute moments.
Did you know any princes that married another prince?
I'm trying to think. I'm sure. But like, not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Chad, I don't think he married a prince, but he was one of my princes in Hong Kong. It's so fun to work with a gay prince, though. Let me tell you.
Oh, I bet.
They're so attentive and so sweet and just like snuggly, and like you feel comfortable being snuggly with them because you're like, oh, you're my prince, but you're also like, I don't have to worry about you like catching feelings or anything. Like we can just be like cutesy together. So it is fun to work with a gay prince, and I do miss Chad. He was like one of my princes in Hong Kong, and he was just like good people, good times. Everyone, he was full of joy. Jo-san in Cantonese is good morning. And every time we'd get on the bus, Joseon, everybody, just like a ball of sunshine.
Yeah.
So, yes, speaking of, I worked at Disneyland and Hong Kong. Fun facts.
Disneyland, Hong Kong.
Disneyland, Anaheim, and Disneyland.
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong.
Yes.
See. That's wrong,
See?
wrong language. One thing I will say, I do think being a Disney princess prepared me for other things in life.
Oh, for sure.
Being a Disney princess prepared me for being Miss USA because you have to be used to people grabbing you and feeling like they own you and they can like take a picture with you and all this stuff and like invading your space, and you have to know how to like politely navigate that with kindness and respect and like not making them feel uncomfortable but making them feel welcome even. So I feel like it prepared, and I was like great at smiling no matter how tired I was. So that prepared me for being Miss USA, and I also feel like even being Miss USA has given me a bit of preparation for being on Bravo now and being, you know, on reality TV because I had an exposure to that level of like people knowing who you are, especially like the Latin community. Like anytime we go to Miss Universe,
oh my gosh, it's
like
insane.
Craziness.
Queen Nia.
I love it. Call me Queen Nia all day.
Let's go.
Tips and tricks. Let's do it.
Let's start from it probably goes before this in your preparation, but this is the one I'll just talk about. If you don't want to walk or take the tram through
this is a great
Disney,
top secret tip,
downtown Disney, this is what you do. It's probably cheaper and way more closer and convenient.
It's about the same price.
To park at a hotel across the street from the main entrance.
I don't know if you should tell people because then they're going to take up all our parking spots. Dang.
Well, we have a special parking spot.
Yeah.
But these hotels will charge you $40.
Yep.
And you will valet your car. And literally all you have to do is cross the street and
you are right there. You're at Disneyland. And you don't have to get on a tram.
Don't have to get on a tram. Don't have to deal with the
long walk.
Disney parking of like in the garages and all that, and self-parking and walking for forever. And, you know, it takes you an hour just to get to, you know, the entrance. So
it's a good one.
That's mine.
Yeah. And if you have kids, the really annoying thing about the tram is you have to completely break your stroller down to get on a tram. So it's so much hassle.
They want to create the more space for everyone.
Right. So with parking at a hotel right across the street from the entrance, you have your stroller and you walk through security and there you go. So that's a really good top secret tip and trick.
Yes, it is.
Money saving tips and tricks. You got any?
That was one.
Yeah. It's not really money saving. It's
money
convenience.
saving?
Yeah.
Well, obviously, you know, you bring your own snacks.
Bring all your meals and maybe choose one like fun meal that you'll make a reservation for.
Yeah.
Because it's fun to experience the food at Disney, like at the restaurants. A lot of the food is so good, but like if your kids just want a snack, you don't have to go and spend $18 on a slice of pizza.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Because everything's obviously overpriced.
Right. We plan full meals. Something that Daniel and his family used to love is when I worked there, the breakfast burritos backstage.
Oh, my brother was obsessed with the breakfast burritos.
So good. So like I sometimes would be working the day that they would visit. So I might not work till 2. We were there at 8 a.m. I would go backstage and get us 5 breakfast burritos. We would all share them. And then I would, clock in for work later. But you can't get those. Unfortunately, you can't get them while you're at the park. That was so good.
Those were such magical moments when you were still working there.
And we had family
And we had
visiting.
the nephews that would come in. And
those were fun.
The exchanges.
But yes, when I go with Asher, I pack everything. We only get food for fun. Like we might split a pretzel. Or I will secretly eat a churro when he's not watching. But I don't let him eat the churros.
This is true.
And then places that I love to eat. I love the Blue Bayou, but you have to get a reservation there like a month in advance. Yeah. Sometimes they do take walk-ups. And for kids, the only character dining that you can do in the park right now is the minis. Like it's like a Minnie Mouse breakfast and it's only for breakfast. Reservations are months out. I tried to make reservations.
That's the only one in the park?
That's a character dining
in
the park.
All they have is one.
Yeah. I can't get a reservation
because Goofy's
right now.
Kitchen is at the Hollywood or the hotel.
Yeah, I tried. I
Disneyland
haven't.
hotel.
Nothing until maybe January, February. I'm
Yeah.
not able to get reservations, unfortunately. I've been trying. So if you want to do a reservation, book it far out in advance, but bring all your own food. That's going to save you a lot of money.
Yeah.
Pro tip that we learned, because those bubble guns are so expensive. The little like bubble things. If you have kids, they're like $7, something crazy.
Yeah.
They're a lot of money. So I got some off of Amazon that I thought looked like little bubble blasters, but if it looks in the shape of a gun whatsoever, they will take it from you at security.
If it's got a trigger,
yeah.
then they're going to take it
Yeah,
from you.
because we had
And
ours
did.
confiscated. And I had just bought them for Disney, so I wouldn't have to, I could spend $9 on
Right.
Amazon instead of $25. And
So do your research
Do your
on
research.
what closely looks like, or you could probably get the exact same thing
yeah.
that they sell there on Amazon.
Yeah.
What I do also love, and have fallen in love with this place, and it's very reasonable, and the food is amazing, is with the yellow awnings.
You like that food?
Yes.
Jolly Holiday.
Is that what it is?
It's
Where you
Jolly
get
Holiday.
that big pieces, the spicy chicken and the macaroni and
Yellow awning?
yeah, isn't it yellow
Right at
awnings?
the end of Main Street to the left before you go into like Fantasyland or Frontierland.
No. The one that we went last time when John and Carla were here.
Green awning over by
Was it green
Pirates of
awning?
the Caribbean.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
But
Pirates
that
of the
was- so
Caribbean,
those are my
it's
fa-
right there.
Those are my favorites, even like
Next to it.
beside Blue Bayou and all that. The chicken at the first place you said, at the end of Main Street. Bomb.
Oh, you're talking about Tiana's Palace
What?
or Tiana's Place or whatever it is.
No.
Yes. With the chicken and the mac and cheese.
Yeah, but you have to go inside and it's like, you get the thing and you tell
Yes.
them what you want.
Yes. Okay. Tiana, that place actually has incredible food.
And it's right next to the beignets.
they have beignets. And Mickey beignets are some of the best.
It's
snacks
right
in the park.
next to the beignet.
Yes. It's
Walk
Tiana's
up.
Place or
Okay.
something like that.
Tiana's Place, bomb, spicy chicken,
It's so
big
good.
portions,
Huge.
and very huge and very reasonable prices.
Yeah.
And the macaroni is very good too.
Yes.
And the coleslaw. It's just a good meal.
It's a good meal.
And then that sit down place, Jolly something, whatever.
Uh-huh.
That was one of the best like fried chicken, dishes I had ever had.
Yeah.
And also very reasonable.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go crazy
Yeah.
with the $80 a ticket for a character.
Right. You
But
don't
then
have
you
to do
gotta-
that to get good food at Disney. Any secret things that people don't really know about at Disney? Like,
Yours is your wheelhouse.
I know,
homie.
I'm saying we've been enough that like, ooh, when you go, like people don't know about this place. A lot of people don't know about Tom Sawyer's Island. Daniel and I actually, I don't know if we've ever been together.
No.
I feel like we should go with Asher. It's just like, I remember going as a child, like you run around, it's just like run around and play. And I don't know, it's like nature, which it feels very removed from the park. You have to take a little like raft over to it.
Yeah.
Other things that are fun in Toontown,
We've been loving Toontown lately.
it's been completely redesigned, and they
Yeah.
have a lot of open spaces like turf grass where kids can just run. They have a splash pad.
Mm-hmm.
Pro tip:
Bring extra clothes.
Don't let your husband take your kid to the splash pad because Daniel took Asher to the splash pad without taking his shoes or socks off or making sure I had extra dry clothes. So I'm in line for Minnie Mouse,
Listen,
and
it was hot,
Asher
people.
is drenched head to toe, and we did not. His shoes were soaking wet.
Listen.
His socks. I didn't have a change of those.
When my
things.
boy is in there laughing, living his best life,
take his socks and shoes off.
nope. I just let him go.
It was terrible.
It was awesome. Yeah, Toontown has been great. You could just spend an hour there and just like relax.
Yeah,
Like we just
There's
sat on a bench,
lot of free play.
or like just sat on the turf and
Yeah.
was like, let's take a break.
we had a picnic.
Lots of shade,
All the food we brought.
characters coming out like crazy.
Yep.
So that was great.
Another tip is okay, we have like three more tips. Another one is rope drop. If you can wake up early and get there, you get into the park an hour, 30 minutes to an hour before it opens, and you are there ready to hit the rides when the park officially opens. Say it's 8 a.m., you're in the park by 7:30. You're in the park by 7 a.m., getting your coffee, seeing the characters on Main Street, and then they have a rope. And when they drop it and say go, you get to all those rides
run.
quick, because the rides that have like an hour, 2 hour wait, that first hour of the morning, there is no wait. So
No,
you do
you
Peter
can
Pan,
knock
you do all the
them
big
out.
rides
Yeah.
ASAP.
Space Mountain.
Yeah. And you could go on 2 or 3 times sometimes.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Asher and I went on so many rides last time we were there with
Yeah.
rope drop.
Yeah.
And it was incredible and there was no lines. So that's like a pro tip.
Yeah.
Get your favorite rides in first and then you can like chill and relax and enjoy the park. Another thing with kids is look up the times of the entertainment, because when you have small children, even if you're an adult, it's not fun to stand in line for hours and hours. So if you get those big rides done first, then you can like watch the shows. They have different shows, different performance areas. They have the castle show with Mary Poppins. They have different parades. Like enjoy the entertainment instead of, sitting in line for 3 hours each ride. Like that's really annoying to do.
Right.
So we enjoy the entertainment a lot. Let me see if I have any other like key tips.
I mean, we love some World of Color.
You do.
What?
It's good.
I like cry every time.
I know. It's sweet.
So special.
Do
you not have a heart? It's so special and beautiful and awesome.
Yeah.
So what is the key? We've done a few different ways.
Yeah.
What is the best way to get the good seats?
Right.
And not have to wait?
Do a dining package. You can spend a little extra money for dining and you get great seats for World of Color. So that's good. If you could say, what is like one thing that you should spend a little extra money on? We kind of maybe you would say that's it. Extra money on dining for World of Color?
Yeah.
That's yours?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything that you won't spend money on? You feel like it's a waste of money at Disney?
I mean, anything that you could have brought from home.
Yeah.
That you now
Food,
have to buy there.
toys, even autograph books. I bet you could get a cute autograph book on Amazon. Another little like final pro tip, which is kind of silly, but bring a grandma, bring an auntie, bring someone else. If you have a lot of kids, bring someone to hang out with them. Let yourself get on an adult ride. Oh, the ride swap last one, I swear. We have so many tips and tricks. We could do so many episodes on this and stories from when I worked at Disney, like hilarious things. Oh, dang. One more story. Okay, we're wrapping up, I swear. I was friends with Rapunzel one time, and we had just had a massive, not a hurricane. In Asia, they call it a typhoon. Massive typhoon where they actually closed Disney down, which Disney doesn't close down for anything. And there were like trees that were falling over sideways, like in the park. Yeah. It was wild. And it was still raining, but the typhoon was over. So like, you're not going to die. You can go to work. So
I know where this is going.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay. We're at Disney. Obviously, I was at Disney. I was working. I was friends with Rapunzel. She has the long hair. And I had the cutest little kid that was so excited. And it's nice when they speak English, when you work in a country where they don't speak English, because you can actually talk to the kids. So we were talking. The little boy, I think it was standing on a bench next to me. And he was so excited that he was all done. He jumped down and he landed on my hair because my hair was so long. But the hair is kept together by clip-in extensions. So like half of the extensions broke off of the braid and just like fell straight to the ground. So you could tell it was fake hair. And so I had to like pick it up in the, I had a line of like 30 people and I just ran away. And like,
I didn't know where this is going.
And I did not. I had all my hair like bundled up and I was like, oh, gotta go find Flynn Rider, bye. and I was like, Flynn, like running around Flynn. And I'm like running. And then like our back entrance to go backstage, there was a tree over the walkway. So I literally like with my hair was like jumping over trees and like the whole thing because it was a whole situation. Okay. I could just do this all day long because I love Disney stories, but we will wrap it up there.
I had one more thing that I was going to say about something. Okay. Have you heard that they are now going to be selling tickets? You can pay like $450 some or like some crazy number, $450 over your ticket.
For the day.
What?
It's a one-day thing.
Right. To where you get to the front of the line of everything.
Yeah.
It's like the ultimate fast pass.
It's any way for them to make money. So it's kind of like hiring a plaid without hiring a plaid.
What's a plaid real quick?
A plaid is like the private tour group where they take you to the front of the line for everything, but it's like $10,000.
Is it 10,000?
Maybe more. Might be 12.
People do it. Obviously, celebrities do it.
Might be 15. It's a lot of money.
Celebrities do it that have a lot of money, or people just that have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Or people that have a group and everybody pitches in.
Right, but they're like, oh, it's only like $1,500
$1,000 a person.
Because we've had friends tell us, let's do a plaid day. And it's like, you still want us to pay $3,000 for the day. I don't know.
Just to get in the front of lines and
So
things.
now Disney's telling you, oh my gosh, you'll save so much money. It's only $500 for the day instead of $1,500 or whatever.
No, it's over. It's
On
like
top of your
400
ticket price.
I think it was like $468 over your ticket price, and then you can get to the front of line.
Right.
of
It's the
anything.
ultimate fast pass. You don't have to wait in line for anything.
Oh, here's a trick.
No, we got to be done.
I know, but here's a trick that you kind of, it's probably not the most ethical,
Oh, boy.
but, you can go to places and say, hey, I have a condition.
No, you can't anymore. They cut that
Is it
down.
no.
DAS, the disability, something, or DOS, or however you would say it. People with actual conditions now can't even qualify for it.
Wow.
They completely cut that down.
Not that I would ever do that.
I did it one time.
What?
I was 8 months pregnant and I couldn't walk, but it's actually more of a mental thing. And I thought if I was like physically feeling disabled, then I should be able to go to the front of the line for things because I was in so much pain. And I thought that was a thing, but they're like, no, you can ride your scooter to the front of the line. You just sit in line like everybody else. So then you had to be like, well, anxiety.
I get anxiety when
like,
I
right.
And I had one friend who's actually famous. He's a celebrity. He used to do this all the time. But he actually did have like a stomach. He had like really bad IBS. And he said, if I'm in the middle of the line and it's coming, it's coming. So do you want me dropping loads in the middle of the line? Or are you going to let me get in the front of every line?
So
and he would do it every time.
Yeah. So
and
he got
him
the front
and
line
whoever you're with.
anyone in the party, up to 10 people, I think.
Up to 10 people.
Or maybe 8.
Can all go to the front.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So don't do that.
Don't do that. I guess you can't anymore. And
You
those
can't.
people that did do it, you're a bad person because
You
you
saying
took it
that to
away.
him?
You took it away. No, he actually has a condition. You took it away from people that actually have a condition.
Okay. Well, on that note, talking about IBS, let's wrap up the episode. Thanks for hanging with us on our magical little episode. Oh, something I said before we started recording. When I worked at, when I was Miss USA, Esther Swan used to call me Tinkerbell because I would just like pop around the office like happy as can be. She's like, oh my gosh,
when
you're
you were
like
Miss
Tinkerbell.
USA,
You're so happy
Miss
all the time.
Universal. Yeah.
Even though Tinkerbell's not happy, but it was more like the fluttery energy
Right.
of just like kind of flying around the office and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. Make sure you click subscribe so you can hang out with us every single week. And you can follow this podcast anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast. So follow Hold My Crown .podcast on Instagram, Real Nia Sanchez and Daniel Bucco. And we are so happy you are here. We'll see you next week.
Follow, share. Let's do it. Come on, let's go!
Have a great week. Bye.
Yay Media Group.